Live from Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's Nooganomics with David Tulis.
If you have numbers questions, make sure you contact the numbers guy, E.J. Pelton, Eric Pelton. His company is E.J. Pelton Company, and he prepares tax returns and helps those of means, those of income, those of revenue to keep more of what they have earned with his genius on the numbers and on the forms put out by the good people in Washington and Baltimore. Eric Pelton is a CPA, and you can reach him at 622-3156. That's 622-3156, ejpelton.com online. And if you need printing, make sure you do what I do. Go to a place that has your Advantage in its name, and that is Advantage Printing in Brainerd, right by the Belvoir Light. It's right next to the Bilo, or the former Bilo, now the Food City on Brainerd Road. Alan Jones does very good work in many, many areas: in-house design, digital printing, mailing services, which is what I use him for in my homeschool newsletter efforts, and also exceedingly large format projects also roll out of that shop. That's Advantage Printing, 629-1800, 629-1800. Well, the green energy sector has been in many ways an American economic boondoggle, highly subsidized by the federal government, favor to groups like Solyndra, favor also to car makers whose money-losing, overpriced cars either burn or are suited only for the very, very high-class elites who care a great deal about green energy and don't care about the taxpayer loss in that system. However, you might want to know that there is a possible benefit for you, my listener, the capitalist, the investor, the man who talks about ROI. And that has been a recent extension of a 5-year tax credit on solar systems, solar panels that use the free energy that comes from the sun to run your lights and your computer and all the systems in your business or your house. And that is something that you might want to consider. Don't scoff at this just as another federal freebie. It is a federal freebie and may have long-term consequences, but in the short term, there are advantages that go to you, just as they go to you if you do your printing at Advantage Printing. And to help you find out more about this sector and about the advantage in savings in energy, we have here Ginny Kincer, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Tennessee Solar Solutions. And if you have to duck out, you can find out more about what she's doing with her staff here in the Chattanooga area by going to ChattanoogaSolarSolutions.com. That's ChattanoogaSolarSolutions.com. Well, Ginny, tell us about this tax favor that's been extended by Congress.
Yeah, that's Tennessee Solar Solutions, just in case. Sorry, don't mean to correct you. We are this tax break is amazing. It is a 30% federal tax credit. So if you're able to absorb that, you can take advantage of it. It was on the books to sunset 2016 at the end of the year, and the federal government just extended that for an additional 5 years at that 30% federal tax credit.
So it extended the break a year before it had to.
Correct.
Okay, so that as a credit, how does that work on a taxpayer's form? Is it stronger than a tax deduction? Not as strong as a tax deduction, but it is a credit which comes off where?
It would come off your personal taxes or business, depending on how you're able to absorb that and depreciation. And basically moving that forward, I'm going to be honest and say, guess what? I am not an accountant, nor do I play one on TV or the radio. So the best way to know how that's going to fit into your personal finances is to go ahead and talk with your accountant and see how that would fit in. But it is something that you can absorb over not just 1 year, but multiple years. And
the break goes through 2019, and then after that, it will taper off in the hazy future down to 28%, 26%, and then finally 10% for some time, a little bit less tax benefit to you. Okay, so what is Tennessee Solar Solutions? Ginny Kincer, tell us about how it got started in 2007.
Yeah, so the founder of the company, his name is Anthony Roden. He is a native to the area, and he was doing a project with his daughter for school, and the solar came into the project, and they had a great time doing this project. And honestly, after the project was over, she looked right at him and said, "Hey, you should do a business like this, Dad." And he said, "What a great idea, out of the mouths of babes." So there we are.
Now, Anthony is an electrician. Is he a union electrician? And what is he? What are his connections with the union here in Chattanooga?
He is an IBEW certified electrician, and he has been in the business of being an electrician for a long time.
So IBEW is International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, right?
Correct.
Okay, and the office of that is along Highway 153.
I believe so.
Right, not too far from Auto Row. All right, so Anthony Roden has started with one, as almost all businesses do. You, my listener, think about that. Here, Anthony in 2007 starts with one idea and works toward providing a service to a growing market, no doubt, here in Chattanooga, and you can do the same as well. Now, he has how many people working with you?
Right now, we're up to 15. Based on some of our installs, we're able to flex up on that, depending on how busy we are. But we're proud to say we're growing.
Well, think for a second, Ginny Kincer, about my listener. He's got a business. Tell us about his situation with his business, his expenses right now, and how you come in ostensibly and hopefully to settle a problem and to reduce his costs. How does that work for him? What's the situation, and what are your solutions?
Sure. As a small business owner or a larger business, basically what you're looking at is right now you're renting your power. And it doesn't matter how you look at it, you're not owning it. What solar is able to do is to say, listen, stop renting and start owning. From day one that your system gets commissioned, you are now owning your own power. And based on your energy usage, we're able to tailor a system that can lead you to energy independence. It can also lead you to a very quick ROI. Most of our businesses average about a 5-year ROI. If you're watching us live stream right now, you can see David's got a picture of the Riverview Animal Hospital up there. It is a great business to drive by and see for yourself solar in action, even on a cloudy day.
Okay, that's North Shore, and we're looking at a photograph that has two men standing against kind of a cupola of a building. In front of them, all the way to the cameras, the frame of the picture are panels. They're about 7 deep. And then there's some on the higher part of the roof as well, with these two men, one wearing a blue shirt, one a white T-shirt, it looks like. And this is North Shore. And how much energy is produced for this animal hospital, Ginny Kincer? What percentage of its daily needs are met?
All of its daily needs are met, and that's including its boarding kennel. In fact, Dr. Frederico, who is the owner of this business, he actually because when he installed his system, there was a premium rate that TVA was giving out at the time. He actually makes money every day on this system.
And how does he do that?
Well, that's a great question. He does that because he has a 20-year contract with TVA on a program called GPP, which stands for the Green Power Provider Program. And basically, he gets a base rate for using energy that he is charged, but he gets a premium rate when he produces energy and he sells it back to the grid or to TVA. And
so when he's selling it back, the rate he buys, is he ever buying if he's selling back?
Yes, he's on a dual metered system. So that means that he's electricity back to the grid at a premium rate. When he went in for his contract with TVA, the incentive was 14 cents above the base rate. Right now, it is down to 0. It's dollar for dollar.
Explain what that means. I don't get that.
The incentive is a premium. So basically, that means at the time when he was paying for his electricity at a flat rate, which everyone pays their electricity at, but above that base and that's locked in.
Check or how big a rebate is on his bill?
I would say on an average, he's looking at, depending on, obviously we're going to have a little less sun during this time of the year than in the actual summer. The average in Chattanooga is about 4.5 hours a day over a 12-month period. He was looking at anywhere from a $450 check or credit to his account to anywhere from $600, just depending on the time of year.
A credit in his account.
Yeah, actually, let me correct that, because as a business owner, you get issued a check every month, and as a homeowner, you get a credit applied to your bill every month on this particular program. And if you are net positive by the end of the year, then you get a check issued annually. This
is David Tulis. I do thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time here at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We're the station that suggests that you love your neighbor and buy local. And as always, there are local people who care about local people maybe more than they do strangers from afar. And if that's true, then think in terms of, you might say, our main theme or argument, lococentrism or noogacentrism. We think that near is better than far, that small is better than big, and that simple beats complex. And in the footnotes where the fleas fight, in the small type, personal is better than corporate, and physical better than abstract. Well, my listener has a question, Ginny Kincer. Is it possible to be off the grid anywhere among your clients, even in far-flung places? Can anybody be off the grid entirely?
Off the grid.
And that by that we are saying that you can be totally energy independent and self-sufficient.
Yes.
Are there many people who are doing that in the area?
It is growing. It is a growing trend that we're seeing in our line of work. We are happy that we provide that service here in town. We're the only company here in the Chattanooga area that focuses solely on solar and residential, commercial, and also agribusiness. And one thing I wanted to add is if your business qualifies for a REAP grant, you can see an ROI less than 5. You're talking like 2.5 years.
Okay, ROI means return on investment. And what is a REAP grant? What is that?
Oh, the REAP grant is actually part of the Farm Bill, and that is a USDA-backed grant that you can apply for, and we can help you with all that paperwork. And we're able to then secure the funding for the project up to a certain percentage, and then we're able to then also apply that, and you're also then able to absorb the depreciation as well as the 30% federal tax credit.
Many American solar companies were left high and dry in 2011, Ginny Kincer, when China poured into the country conventional silicon panels. It wrecked Solyndra and caused losses to taxpayers there. What kind of panels are used by Tennessee Solar Solutions, and where do they come from?
We try very hard because of what you just mentioned to use American-made products. It's something that the company, both its partners, Anthony Roden and Brandon Carter, are really proud of, and what they bring to Chattanooga area as well as the entire Southeast. And those panels we mainly use are made in America, called Suniva. They're just across the border in North Cross, Georgia. It's something that we do a lot of research on, as well as most of our equipment. There are some things at this day and age that is hard to get in the U.S. Some are manufactured in China. Full disclosure there. We're not in the business of misleading anyone on that, but we are very proud, and we go the extra mile to find that.
Well, I'm holding here a shot from a drone. It's a black photograph in a black frame.
Licensed drone.
A licensed drone.
Okay.
Ginny Kincer's making sure we understand that. And it's a view down on a house that's got, describe what we're looking at, Ginny.
This house was an install that was done earlier this year. I'm proud to say that this is actually just around in my neighborhood. It is a goal of mine so my neighbors can know, to get my neighborhood solarized. I think it'd be a great place to do that. You can, if you're watching on the live stream, you can see the direction of the panels absorbing the sun. The way that this is set up, it is a roof-mounted system, and this was a new construction home this year as well. And these things are just beautifully working, just silently and clean in this picture.
Does the owner have to know anything about electrical devices or engineering to own a solar system?
Not at all. What we do is we take you through the process of the monitoring system that we actually put with these systems. And so you can log on just like you'd log on to check your email or your finances, which is, but check your energy usage. How many people really do that? It might be an occupational hazard for me, but you can log on there and you can see your production. What's going on today? What each panel is if you have a micro inverter system, which means the inverter for each panel. So it's able to monitor each panel's production and efficiency. Also, we offer maintenance plans as well as we monitor your system as well. So if something goes wrong, guess what, guys? We're right there for you. And these products also come with a 20 to 25 year manufacturer warranty, depending on the products that we're using.
What kind of money are we talking about, Ginny Kincer, on a house like this? This has maybe, I'm looking at it, I'm not sure how many, let's see this, about 8.
Quick count. About
maybe 25 panels. What kind of investment is in view here?
So I would say a really good average system would definitely, you would be looking at an average price just depending on, and I'm not trying to sound vague at all when I say this, but you have to think about the other costs that go into the installation. Do we have to run extra conduit? Do you want a backup generator with this system? Those kind of things. Basically, you're looking at anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000 to $35,000 for this system.
Now, the house we're looking at, was that decision to put solar in from the contractor and he was going to sell it as a spec house, or was that the buyer's decision?
That was the homeowner's decision. It really is amazing the amount of new construction homeowners that are building homes, that homes are affordable to build, and they want to go ahead and go the extra mile and make it energy efficient.
Well, what are some misconceptions about solar that people have, Ginny?
One of the big ones that we get, and we call them solar myths in the office, is especially with the rain that's happened here lately, solar doesn't work on a cloudy day. That's completely false. We always tell people, is there light outside? You've got solar production. We've got bigger problems, David, if the sun doesn't rise in the morning than your solar energy system. We appreciate the compliment, but there's more there than that.
Well, what about the damage to sunlight from stratospheric aerosol geoengineering, the use of cloud cover artificially made by the Great War Against the Sun, the war for you might say, well, the war on global warming that has caused many more cloudy days than might otherwise be given us by God Himself through nature. What about that? Is that a danger to your industry?
Well, there is definite proof and scientific proof that we have global warming. I think the one thing that we need to address on the front end is the amount of carbon pollution in the air. As far as getting more cloudy days, again, I'll say you're still going to have some production in solar. It might be less than a perfectly clear, sunny day. But if we continue down that path, we're going to lose a lot more than solar production. We're going to lose the photosynthesis and the way that we grow food and stuff like that. So I think that it's really important to keep things in perspective moving forward and control our personal consumption.
My listener has the idea of building a garage outside of his house, and he's thinking, wow, he's already been thinking about having solar panels. What's that 2-car garage with an office on top? He wants it to be not connected to the grid, not connected to the house, but have its own solar panels. How many panels would he need, and what kind of investment would that be for that listener?
Absolutely. One of the ways that we assess that kind of a situation on the front end is to look at the actual energy needs that you have in that business and that home office. What are you actually powering? And it really just gets that detailed when we do the analysis. It's going to be, how many computers? Are you going to have a mini fridge in this home office? Are you going to have so many lights? How many PCs or laptops are you charging? Each one of those things you've got to remember is energy usage. And so to take that whole entire complex off grid is great. And we'll probably hook you up with some batteries, and we might even suggest some type of an actual generator as well.
So batteries store the energy when it's made. The generator runs the system if there's not enough in the batteries or enough coming in fresh.
Yeah, it would help with the cycle up process.
Well, how can my listener contact you, Ginny Kincer of Tennessee Solar Solutions?
Well, we've got a great Facebook page, Tennessee Solar Solutions. We've also on Instagram and Google+. Our website is an amazing way to read some information, get educated. That's TennesseeSolarSolutions.com. And we are always welcome for you to give us a call at 423-535-9053.
This is David Tulis, and the website is TennesseeSolarSolutions.com. TennesseeSolarSolutions.com. Ginny Kincer, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks so much for having us.
Ginny is the Chief Operating Officer, the COO of Tennessee Solar Solutions. 15 people at work installing solar panels and solar systems, batteries, generators throughout the Chattanooga area, giving greater human use and utility of the power of the sun. Effectively, free energy just has to be arranged to be brought to your keyboard and your favorite lamp there by the sofa. Thank you for giving us a couple of minutes of your time. We're members of Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Trade Bank of Chattanooga, 877-2202. Trade Bank. Buy and sell in Trade Bank dollars.